Have you ever felt like you're just drowning in information? I mean, every single day there's a new trend, a new hot take, and trying to figure out what actually matters, it's a huge challenge. Well, today we're going to dig into a really interesting system, the Codatta Architecture, which is basically designed to be a lighthouse in that storm, to find the real, lasting signal in all that noise.
This just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? What's trending today usually fades tomorrow. It's not just a feeling, it's a real problem. This constant churn, this cycle of hype, and then nothing, makes it incredibly hard to focus on building anything with real lasting value. It's just a massive distraction from what's actually important.
So before we can find the solution, we've really got to define the problem. The source material gives it a name, market noise. But what does that actually mean? Let's break it down.
Just think about it for a second. The market, whether you're talking tech or finance or culture, it never ever sits still. It's this endless ocean of hot takes, fleeting trends, and so-called breaking news, and all that constant motion creates this kind of fog that makes it almost impossible to see the stable, important landmarks out on the horizon.
And this noise, it isn't just random sound. It has these specific, identifiable qualities. It's loud, right? It's always yelling for our attention. It's fleeting, here today, totally gone tomorrow. And it's completely unstructured, which makes it almost impossible to use for anything practical. So what's the end result? A giant, energy-sucking distraction.
Okay, so if that's the noise we're trying to escape, what are we searching for? What's the goal? We're looking for the exact opposite, what the source calls real value. You know, the stuff that's still standing long after all the hype has died down.
And real value isn't some vague concept here. It has a very specific definition. It's not about being flashy. It's all about substance. We're talking about data that is genuinely useful, that's organized so you can actually find your way around, and, this is the most important part, it's reliable over time. You can count on it tomorrow, next week, and next year.
And when you put them side by side like this, wow, the contrast couldn't be clearer. On one side you've got noise, it's fleeting, it's loud, it's a total distraction. On the other side you've got value, it's durable, it's quiet, and it's reliable. This isn't just a small difference, you guys. This is a fundamental shift in philosophy. One is about grabbing temporary attention, the other is about creating lasting substance.
Okay, so we have a clear problem, and we have a clear goal. The big question is, how do you actually build a system to filter out all that noise and capture the value? Well, let's dive into our next section and see how one company, Codatta, is tackling this head-on with a really structured approach.
So the core of Codatta's approach is surprisingly simple, but it's also kind of radical. Instead of chasing automated trends and algorithms, they focus on something really fundamental, real human input. But the magic isn't just in collecting opinions. It's in transforming that raw input into something structured and, this is crucial, verifiable.
Their whole process really breaks down into 3 key steps. First, they capture that raw human intelligence. You know, the kind of nuanced insight you just can't get from an algorithm. Then comes the really hard work. They organize all of that input, sorting through the chaos to give it a coherent, usable structure. And finally, and this is the key to the whole thing, they verify it, making sure that what they've built isn't just a collection of interesting opinions, but a trustworthy foundation for making real decisions.
So what does this all add up to? Here's the most important part. What Codatta is building is not the next loud, flashy trend. Nope, it's the exact opposite. It's a quiet signal. And, you know, those are often the ones you need to be paying the most attention to.
I absolutely love this quote because it gets right to the heart of the philosophy here. It's not loud and it's not trying to be. That's a deliberate choice. In a world where everyone is shouting to be heard, this whole approach is based on the idea that true value doesn't need to scream for your attention.
But don't ever mistake quiet for insignificant. The source is crystal clear on this. Its quietness is precisely what makes it so powerful. It isn't trying to grab your attention, it's trying to earn it.
And this presents a really clear choice for anyone watching the market. The source is very direct here. Most people are probably going to overlook this because it isn't making a lot of noise. The alternative? To pay attention now, to understand the foundational work that's being done before it becomes obvious to everyone else. And that leaves us with a final, pretty provocative question to think about. We are all conditioned to look for the loudest, biggest trends. But maybe, just maybe, the truly revolutionary ideas, the ones with real, lasting value, are the ones that start quietly, just waiting for those of us who are willing to listen closely. What do you think?